Welcome back to a brand new video, guys, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Valve Steam Deck, which is coming out next month. It's a handheld console from Valve that plays PC games. It's basically a PC gaming computer in your hands that you can take anywhere, kind of like the Nintendo Switch. I am super pumped to get my hands on it. It comes out next month. I'm in the first pre-order batch, so I should hopefully get it next month and be able to do a bunch of videos, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be taking a look at some of the games that are now confirmed to be working on the Steam Deck, as well as talk about some games that are not going to be running on Steam Deck at launch. And we're also going to be taking a look at some of the other big CEOs in the gaming industry from big companies like Sony and Microsoft, who have actually got their hands on the Steam Deck, and they're showcasing some of their own published games that are running just fine on the Steam Deck. It's great to see the Steam Deck get support across the industry from PlayStation, Microsoft. Hopefully, I doubt Nintendo are going to support it, let's be honest. But it's great to see it, and I'm super pumped to get my hands on it. So, before we get into it, click that like button down below, give it a little tickle, scroll down, I'll wait for you. Scroll down, give it a little click the like button, and then click the subscribe, click the bell icon below it to get more gaming news videos just like this. 3D printing videos, gaming streams, PS5, Xbox restock streams, virtual reality videos. I love VR. I want to do more VR content on the channel. So everything I like, you probably like too, since you're here. And it would be I'd really appreciate it. We've got a lovely community here. And consider clicking that join button down below to support even more and become a member, become part of the cult of Blaze. So let's get to the news. Let's take a look at this article from PC Gamer. It says Steam games are finally starting to get their Deck verified status. Valve has started rolling out the Steam Deck verified test results for a handful of games. So that's good. Valve said in October 2021 that it was reviewing the entire Steam catalog to determine each game's compatibility with the upcoming Steam Deck handheld. A game status would be indicated on the Steam storefront via a Deck verified indicator, showing that a game was verified, playable with some limitations, unsupported or unknown, meaning it hasn't been tested. Valve's efforts are beginning to bear fruit. Members of the Steam Deck subreddit have noticed that some games have received a Deck verified status, and while that status is not currently displayed on Steam store listings, it can be seen on SteamDB. There's also a workaround to see them on Steam. More on that below. The list is currently quite small, covering only 67 of the 60,000 plus games on Steam, and further complicating the situation is that not all games in the list are verified. The only way to check a game's status is to look at the individual listing. Cuphead, for instance, is verified, and here is Cuphead's. Basically, this is what it says underneath Cuphead's listing on SteamDB, or I believe on the Steam store. If you use the workaround that I'm going to tell you about, I won't be doing it on my PC on the video, but I'll tell you how to do it. You will need Firefox. So basically, Cuphead, it says it's verified, and it tells you when it was verified, it tells you the build ID it was verified on, and here's the information it gives you. It says all functionality is accessible when using the default controller configuration. The game shows Steam Deck controller icons. In-game interface text is legible on Steam Deck, and the game's default graphics configuration performs well on Steam Deck. So the fact that the game already shows the Steam Deck controller icons makes me wonder, Phil Spencer, are you responsible for this? Because I know Phil Spencer was talking about the Steam Deck, and he was telling us how impressed he was, and I'm about to show you his tweet. I'm sure Phil Spencer loves the Steam Deck so far, and I'm pretty sure it was probably him that told the developers of Cuphead, hey, make sure this game runs well on Steam Deck, add the Steam Deck buttons. See, I love this when the gaming industry works together on something. Subnautica, on the other hand, is only playable, and this is why it's playable. It's not verified, it's playable, so it means it works with a couple of workarounds, but it's not perfect, like, let's say, Cuphead is. So here's why. Some functionality is not accessible when using the default controller configuration, requiring the use of the touchscreen or virtual keyboard or a community configuration. This game sometimes shows mouse, keyboard, or non-Steam Deck controller icons. In-game interface text is legible in Steam Deck. So the in-game text interface is legible. The game's default graphics configuration performs well on Steam Deck, but the game does not support cross-platform save games. The game does not support external controllers for the primary player. So yeah, the main issues with this on the Steam Deck is that it sometimes shows the mouse and keyboard or non-Steam Deck controller icons. That's not too big a deal. Some functionality is not accessible when using the default controller configuration, requiring the use of the touchscreen or virtual keyboard or a community configuration. That's kind of sucks, but hopefully that'll change. So the more people get their hands on the Steam Deck, and the more people that bug the developers of their favorite games, the more likely it is for those developers to implement like changes into the game that support the Steam Deck a little bit better. And I'm sure Subnautica is a pretty popular game. I'm sure a lot of players of Subnautica will get onto the developers and say, "Hey, we want you to make a couple of changes to make this game a little bit more playable on the Steam Deck." And I'm sure they will if there's enough demand for it, right? So here's some games that are unsupported. Oh, also, The Witcher 3, for instance, is fully functional using the default Steam Deck controller, which is good. It performs well on the unit, but it's only rated as playable because some in-game text is small and may be hard to read on the Steam Deck screen. So that's another issue. The Steam Deck has a 720p display in it, which isn't impressive. If you were playing it on like a 24-inch monitor or anything above that, 720p isn't great. But on something the Steam Deck size, 720p is more than enough. It looks really good. You know, it's hard to see the pixels. You have to really look for them. It's the same resolution the Nintendo Switch runs at, and it's the perfect resolution for a handheld gaming computer. You don't want your Steam Deck having a 4K display in it. Yes, it will look super crisp, but it will also look like a slideshow when you play games. So there's got to be like compromises, okay? And I think 720p is perfect, more than fine for something like the Steam Deck. I mean, we might see graphics technology take a massive jump in future years, and we might end up getting like OLED Retina level displays in handhelds, but for now 720p is more than sufficient, I think, to get the best balance of performance to like visuals. Anyways, there's a handful of unsupported games on the list, but the good news for Steam Deck fans is that all but one are VR games. Steam Deck doesn't support VR. The lone standard game on the list that's unsupported is Persona 4 Golden. Unsupported. Valve is still working on adding support for this game on Steam Deck. No, Persona fans. So here's the way. Listen, if you want to go have a look and see which games are supported on Steam yourself, here's how to do it. You will need Firefox. Let's go over this. So you're going to want to open Firefox. You're going to want to press Control-Shift-M on an open tab. This puts the browser into responsible design mode, a way to emulate different types of displays to ensure websites work properly on other devices. Set the resolution to 900 by 800. Click the settings icon at the top right and enable Show User Agent. And then you're going to want to type Valve Steam Gamepad into the UA field. Make sure that touch simulation next to UA is disabled. And then all you have to do now is go to the store.steampowered.com and look at some games. And then this is what you should see, assuming you've done it right. You'll see the Steam Deck compatibility indicator on the upper right corner of the page. And you can actually click the Learn More button and it will provide a detailed breakdown of compatibility points, just as we showed you here. So this is pretty good. So there's going to be more and more games that are basically tested and rated for the Steam Deck, you know, from now all the way up to launch. So this might be a trick you might want to try. You might want to, you know, do the steps that we showed you here on Firefox and see if some of your favorite games on Steam are working or if they've got their verified Steam Deck status yet. It might be worth it. Like I said, it's not an ideal browsing solution, but it does work, and it's evidence that they're making progress on this. So here's a list of games that are currently verified. This comes from Eurogamer.net, and I'll not read the whole list, but I'll read some of the standout games. Aliens Fireteam Elite, Ape Out, Castle Crashers, Celeste, I've got that on Switch, Cuphead, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls fans, come on, Death Stranding, a game I would love to play on the Switch, Death's Door, Dishonored, Final Fantasy, Guacamelee 2, Hollow Knight, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Mad Max. I'm just skipping over some games I don't really know much about. Mark of the Ninja, Nier Automata, Portal 2, Psychonauts 2, Rogue Legacy, Risk of Pain, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. That's going to be a beautiful game on the Switch. On the Switch, on the Steam Deck. Tetris Effect for you Tetris fans. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, Total War, Warhammer 2. Yeah. Those are the ones that are verified to basically work flawlessly on the Steam Deck. Here's the ones that are playable. Among Trees, Black Skylands, Bravely Default 2, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Farming Simulator 19, probably small text as well. That's probably like legibility issues on Farming Simulator. I'm pretty sure that has small text and small like icons on the UI. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Slay the Spire, Subnautica, Swords of Legends Online, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Tomb Raider, Tribes of Midgard 2, Valheim War Thunder, and unsupported right now are basically virtual reality games. Arizona Sunshine, Budget Cuts, Job Simulator, The Blue, and Persona 4 Golden. So there we go. Those are the games that are currently verified to work on the Steam Deck. Not a bad list, not a bad list. But I'm a little bit bummed at the thought of the games that don't run on the Steam Deck, and we're going to take a look at that. Here's an article from Game Informer right now. Games you can't play on the Steam Deck, and there's more that's not on this list. Games you can't play on Steam Deck and why you can't play them: Apex Legends, Black Desert Online, DayZ, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, The Hunt Showdown, Paladins, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, no, Rainbow Six Siege, Smite. As a dedicated Destiny 2 player myself, that Bungie inclusion hurts a little bit, because I smacked down a pre-order as soon as the Broken Steam store finally opened up the floodgates. Why you can't play these games? According to ProtonDB via PC Gamer, some games are not compatible with the Steam Deck because of how they're developed for consoles and how the deck is Linux based. Valve did make it to where Windows-based games can run on the Steam Deck, though not everything could be made to work properly. You'll also know that some of the games listed share one thing in common: online multiplayer experiences. With certain multiplayer games and the anti-cheat software they employ, the choice of going the Linux route is a double-edged sword. That's where the cut games list comes in. With the above multiplayer games just not doable, that doesn't mean that the library is small. Indie games, PC-only titles, and the majority of your Valve library can be played in the palm of your hand. It's also important to remember that even though these games can't run on the Steam Deck, that doesn't mean they necessarily will be off the table forever. Who knows, maybe Valve will look into a Windows option in the future. For now, let's just focus on the release. So yeah, there we go. Some big hitting games on that list right there. And there's more that hasn't been on that list. There's more games that are not on that list right now. So Apex Legends, a massive game that I would kill to play portably on the damn toilet. Or in bed, wherever, or on the sofa when I'm spend time with the family. Black Desert Online, some big MMOs I would love to play, on the go. DayZ, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, Fall Guys. It's funny, all these games are the exact type of games that I was wanting to get a Steam Deck to play, I was like, well, oh god, a portable gaming PC, the Steam Deck that runs Steam. I want to play Apex Legends on it, I want to play Battlefield on it, I want to play Rainbow Six Siege, PUBG, all those sorts of games. And it's ironic that these are the sort of games that you cannot run on Steam Deck, right now at least, basically because of the fact that it runs Linux, and these games are designed to run on the Windows kernel, not the Linux kernel. Does it mean we'll never get to play these games on the Steam Deck? Absolutely not. I'm sure developers and publishers will work to integrate their anti-cheat systems to work on the Linux kernel at some point if there's enough demand. And there's obviously the route that you can go down, which involves flashing Windows 10 on the Steam Deck, which Valve has themselves said you can do. So if you do want to just install Windows 10 and have it be a Windows 10 portable computer, you can if you want to. But obviously you'll probably be swapping compatibility. You'll be swapping like seamlessness, smoothness, for compatibility. So the Linux layer that they've got running on this right now is probably optimized for the Steam Deck. It's optimized to run smoothly, no glitches, no bugs. They're going to be updating it constantly to make it run even better. When you flash Windows on it, you're going to be getting rid of all that, and it's just going to be basically a Windows tablet there that and along with it, you're going to have to deal with driver issues, bugs, issues, blue screens of death, but you will get all that expanded compatibility because it is running Windows. So you can install Windows on it, but there's baggage that comes with that. But if you keep Linux on it, you're limited to games that work on Linux. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? You can do one thing or the other. There's benefits to both and downsides to both. So yeah, I'll be thinking about flashing Windows on my Steam Deck when I get it. Hopefully, I can maybe dual boot Windows and the Linux software. That way I could switch between the factory vanilla Steam Deck operating system and then switch over to Windows if I need to, if I want to go play like Warzone or something. Yeah, that's another game, Warzone, that isn't going to work on this from the get-go. Warzone just implemented something called the Ricochet anti-cheat system, which, as you know, was designed because there was too many hackers in Call of Duty Warzone and Call of Duty multiplayer, and basically they had to do something about it. So they just recently, like a couple of months back, announced the new Ricochet anti-cheat system for Call of Duty. I think they released it in Asia first, but it's now, I believe it's available across the world. So yeah, this is one of the things that hinders the possibility of Call of Duty coming to the Steam Deck on Linux, at least. Again, big multiplayer games. I wouldn't be surprised if World of Warcraft isn't going to work. That runs in Battle.net. Battle.net, I'm not sure if it has a Linux launcher. It might do. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing. A lot of big games I was looking forward to playing on the Steam Deck won't be running on the Steam Deck unless you install Windows on the Steam Deck, which, do you want to do that? That's up to you. On the positive side, though, let's take a look at some big juggernauts in the gaming industry that have actually got their hands on the Steam Deck. And first being Shuhei Yoshida, a big, massive, an executive in the PlayStation branch that has actually visited Valve, I'm sure. I'm sure he's visited Valve and he's got his hands on the Steam Deck. And he's actually showcased himself playing God of War on it. Shuhei Yoshida, yes, he says, hashtag Steam Deck, and he's running God of War. Can you imagine it, playing God of War on the Steam Deck? Are you kidding me? This is what I love, man. I love it when people in the gaming industry come together to support something like this. I mean, it's kind of interesting a little bit that someone from Sony has got their hands on a Steam Deck to try it out. Because, as you know, Sony are the creators of the PlayStation Vita that flopped badly. And I know why it flopped. I'm going to do a video on it and I'll talk about it. But Shuhei, playing God of War, he seems supportive of the Steam Deck. And as PlayStation should be, right? PlayStation are starting to bring over and port over some of their games to the PC, just as Xbox are. I think they saw the success of Xbox releasing their games on PC, and it's an extra bit of revenue. Why wouldn't you do it, right? It's a gaming PC. Games are developed on gaming PCs, so it's only logical that, you know, companies are going to port their games over to PC if they aren't already, just for the extra revenue, and just because it allows, you know, the PC community is getting bigger every day. So it's good to see God of War running on the Steam Deck, and of course, Mr. Phil Spencer himself is a Steam Deck advocate. Phil Spencer, you know, head of Xbox and Microsoft Gaming, Xbox Gaming. As you know, he got the promotion just after Xbox purchased, but Activision Blizzard. Phil Spencer says the Steam Deck already runs Xbox games well. The Steam Deck clearly has the potential to be a portable Xbox if Microsoft decides to support it. And here's his tweet. Phil Spencer, he says, was at Valve Software this week talking with Scott, Eric, Gabe about Steam Deck. After having mined most of the week, I can say it's a really nice device. Games with me on the go, screen size, controls, all great. Playing Halo and Dragon Age feels good. Or Dragon Age, no. Age of Empires, maybe? Playing Halo and Age feels good. xCloud works well. Congrats, Steam Deck team. Look at that. He's got Gears of War on there. Oh, that's that tactical. Gears of War Tactics. That's not like, yeah, that's like the real RTS Gears of War game, I believe. But yeah, look at that. He's got Halo, the Master Chief Collection on there. Holy crap, dude. How fun is this going to be? Now, it says Game Pass is currently available on Xbox consoles, Windows PCs, and smartphones, but the Steam Deck is an open platform which you can install any software you want, Valve says. It runs Linux. Going back to the point that it does run in Linux, Game Pass right now doesn't run on Linux. So we're going to see, hopefully this is a good sign that that Phil Spencer and Xbox are supportive of the Steam Deck, and that they're open to maybe bringing over Xbox Game Pass. I can only imagine that that's going to bring challenges in its own for, like, I doubt all the games on Game Pass are designed to run on a Linux kernel, so that might just be something you have to do once you flash Windows 10 on the Steam Deck. But yeah, it's good to see someone like Phil Spencer and Shuhei, you know, talk positively about the Steam Deck. That can only be a good thing, right? And hopefully it's a sign that we'll see more Xbox and PlayStation games make their way to Steam, and obviously ultimately make their way to the Steam Deck. So I'm super excited, man. I'd love if Game Pass got brought over to the Steam Deck. That would just make it better. xCloud is supported, obviously, so if you do want to stream your games via the cloud, if you're out and about on the train and you don't want to download the game onto your actual Steam Deck and use up some of your valuable hard drive space, then xCloud will work on the Steam Deck. You will be able to play games remotely via a web browser. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. So yeah, Steam Deck coming out next month, and I'm super pumped to play it. Cannot wait. Follow the channel, click the subscribe, click the bell icon for more gaming news videos, and obviously to be notified when I do get my Steam Deck and we can start doing streams, videos together, show you how it works, show you what works, what doesn't work. It's going to be fun times. So thank you for watching this video. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. God bless. See you in the next one. It's Blaze2K. Follow me on Twitter as well, link in the descriptions. Peace out.